About 15 kilometers from Narayanpur city, in Naxal-infested Bastar region of Chhattisgarh, I'm walking on a natural weather-beaten path. It is 7 o'clock in the morning. There are small white-colored wooden planks nailed to the sal trees, which call for a boycott of elections and political parties. Otherwise, the mud huts do not bear any signs that elections are on in the rest of the state. This is Abujmar, the uncharted dense forest which houses Bastar's top Maoist commanders. There are no metal roads here. In fact, the place I'm trekking to is Toya Meta, a small village about 2 kilometers from Akalbeda police camp in the heart of Naxal territory. Tribals from about 200 villages have been camping here, protesting for over a year since last November. Sitting in big cities, many may think what these villagers are protesting against seems dichotomous. So, what is it that they want, or rather not want? Well, they say they do not want roads. Yes, do not want roads. What one sees as a way of taking health facilities, education, and overall development to the remote villages are seen by Bastar tribals as infringement on their traditional way of life. In this edition of ET's Morning Brief, I, your host Nidhi Sharma, take you to Bastar region of Chhattisgarh. As the state goes for second phase of polling, I look at how this left-wing extremism affected area is different from the rest of the state. My colleagues from ET Political Bureau, Anubhuti Vishnoi and Rahul Tripathi, will also help us in understanding what it takes to hold peaceful elections in Bastar. As the rest of Chhattisgarh heads to the polls, parts of Bastar saw votes being cast in the first phase of elections. And as I said then during our Elections Playbook podcast, the saying around locals here is, whoever wins Bastar wins the state. But winning Bastar is no easy task, with Naxals and tribals protesting basic development. Let us travel to Toya Meta in Narayanpur district and speak to the protesting villagers who have been sitting in a small clearing in the forest since November 5, 2022. The villagers take turns to sit in protest with every family sending 1 or 2 members. For them, a metal road means a police camp and intrusion in their way of life.
क्या नाम है आपका?
रामनारायण।
आप किस गांव से हैं रामनारायण?
होकपाड़ से।
कौन सा विधानसभा क्षेत्र पड़ा?
नारायणपुर।
तो आप लोग यहाँ पे जंगल के बीच में बिल्कुल बैठे हुए हैं धरने पे। ये कितने टाइम से बैठे हुए हैं?
ये 5 नवंबर से बैठे हैं।
5 नवंबर से 2022 से आप लोग बैठे हैं। तो यहाँ पे कितने लोग बैठे हैं?
यहाँ तो कभी कभार हम लोग 200 तक रहते हैं, 300 तक रहते हैं, कभी 400 तक रहते हैं, कभी 500 तक पहुँच जाता है। काम बुता अभी थोड़ा से कम है, ज़्यादा है इसलिए नहीं, ज़्यादा जनता यहाँ नहीं आती हैं। आधा जनता मतलब नहीं, घर में रहते हैं, घर का काम बुता अभी देख रहे हैं। काम बुता अभी साफ होने के बाद नहीं, ज़्यादा जनता यहाँ फिर जो ही बैठेंगे। यहाँ
कितने गांवों से लोग
मतलब नहीं, कम से कम 200 आसपास के गांव का हैं। बाकी कोई गांव से 2 जन आए हैं, कोई गांव से 3 जन आए हैं, कोई गांव से 4 जन आए हैं। ऐसे जाके अभी काम बुता के दिन में मतलब गांव सलाह हो के यहाँ आके हम लोग बैठे हैं।
तो यहाँ पे किस कारण आप लोग धरना दे रहे हैं?
हम लोग नहीं, हमको वही वैसा कानून हमको नहीं दे रहा है सरकार, इसलिए नहीं। हमारा राज हम ही चलाएंगे। ये अबूझमाड़ करके हम लोग यहाँ पर किसी को इधर घुसने नहीं देंगे, किसी को कैंप आगे बढ़ने नहीं देंगे, कोई रोड चौड़ाई नहीं देंगे करके।
पुलिस कैंप से तो सुरक्षा बढ़ती है।
नहीं, हमको नहीं चाहिए। जहाँ बैठ गए हैं नहीं, वहीं से इधर ही रहना चाहिए बाबा के। हमको कोई सुरक्षित, हम लोग को मतलब नहीं, पुलिस कैंप क्या बोलते हैं कि मतलब नहीं, आप लोग को हम सुरक्षित करेंगे, हम लोग हाँ, हम सुरक्षित के लिए हम हैं, हम कह के हमको इधर-उधर हमको घुमा के रखते हैं। आज तक ले पुलिस हमको कोई सुरक्षित नहीं दे रहे हैं, सुरक्षित नहीं कर रहे हैं कि कहीं अमराने से कहीं हम जंगल झाड़ी में घूमने वाले हैं, ऐसे गाय बछरू चराने वाले हैं, गाय बछरू ले जाते हैं जंगल में, कहीं कुछ करते हैं। जहीं जंगल में अमराने से नहीं, वहीं मारपीट करना है, वहीं से बाहर मतलब नहीं, नारायणपुर जेल में ले जाना चाहिए। यही काम करते हैं, इसलिए हमको नहीं चाहिए करके हम सीधे से यही बात हम चलाए हैं। हम पूरा गांव के अब पूरा सब जुल मिट के ऐसे हम फैसला किए या फिर यहाँ पर हम धरना बैठे हैं अब।
सरकार के आने से, कैंप के आने से सहूलियतें बहुत मिलती हैं,
नहीं
जैसे शिक्षा है, तो आप लोगों तक शिक्षा और ये हेल्थ वगैरह जो है वो पहुंचती है?
नहीं पहुँचता है, कोई चीज़ नहीं पहुँचता है हमारे
गांव
गाँव।
में स्कूल है आपके?
छोटा बड़ा है, ऐसे ही स्कूल है बाबा के वहाँ तक।
मास्टर पहुंचते हैं?
मास्टर नहीं पहुँचते हैं, मास्टर आने से नहीं, कोई जगह के मास्टर पीने खाने वाला हैं, कोई जगह के कहीं हैं, एक दिन आते हैं, एक दिन भी पी खा के वहीं स्कूल में पड़े रहते हैं, वहाँ से स्कूल से छुट्टी करके ना बस बच्चा लोग का हाजिरी ले के ना चले जाते हैं, यही काम है। कोई बच्चा 5वीं तक पढ़े हैं, कोई 5वीं क्लास में रखे हैं, कोई कुछ करे हैं, कोई बच्चा नहीं बराबर नाम लिखने अपना माँ बाप का नाम लिखने नहीं जानते हैं और 5वीं कक्षा में बैठा देते हैं उसको। यही है मास्टर लोग के भी।
The police, however, say that the Maoists threaten the villagers with a fine of 500 rupees per household if they do not protest against roads and security camps. The villagers fear they will get caught in the crossfire between security forces and Naxals. For them, it is a choice between the devil and the deep blue sea.
हर घर को 500 रुपए का फाइन होगा, इसीलिए आप लोगों को नक्सली बिठाते हैं, क्योंकि अगर सरकार और कैंप वहां तक पहुंच जाएंगे तो उनका एरिया खत्म हो जाएगा।
नक्सली तो हम लोगों को नहीं बिटल है, हम लोग खुद से गांव के समूह चर्चा किया और उसके बाद धरना बैठे हैं। नक्सली का नाम ही नहीं, सरकार बोलती है नक्सलियों का नाम करती है, नक्सली को हम नहीं देखे हैं ना सरकार नहीं देखी है।
The villagers are losing their faith in the democratic processes. This is evident as the protesting tribals here speak of boycotting the elections. My colleague Rahul Tripathi, who covers internal security and has also traveled through LWE affected areas, tells us why there is resistance to roads and overall development by the people.
Again, this is a question of perception. The roads that are being built, the mobile connectivity that is being provided, it has helped the common man improve his life. He can send his kids to a better school. He can find a better job. He can find better avenues for his family. He can have better access to health services. I think the problem here, Nidhi, is that the security forces who enter in these areas, these Maoist stronghold, they continue to remain there, and then they become like the landlord of that area because they have the gun. They wield all the power. So I think that perception needs to be changed, and I think the CRPF or the Central Security Forces also understands this much. So they have also initiated activities to engage with local citizens. So in a way, it works both ways to create mutual trust. This is the only way, I think, unless until the problem gets resolved, which the government believes will be resolved in next phase, this dichotomy will, I think, remain.
About 20 kilometers from Sukma city, near Mankapal CRPF camp, the road is being built. There are patches which remain unmetalled. A tree stands in the middle of a planned road. A local policeman points to it and says there were villagers camping here to save the tree. The pathway suddenly ends in a cluster of palm trees, and from here I take a 3-kilometer trek to Nagalgoda village. On one side is a mountain, and on the other side of this pathway are rice fields. Tribal women are working in the fields, but they do not speak a word of Hindi. Nagalgura is special. This small village got its own polling station for the first time since independence. It is a success story and a part of a list of 126 villages where a polling station was set up for the first time. Villagers tell you that they had to climb a mountain and cast their vote, but not many went. If Toya Mehta was speaking of boycotting elections, here in Sukma, the villagers were more enthused. A whole security apparatus is pressed in to hold elections in LWE affected areas. Chhattisgarh Chief Electoral Officer Reena Kangale explains how new polling stations were set up.
New polling stations. In the first phase of elections, there were only 4,000 polling stations in 2018. This time, the number of polling stations has increased to 5,303. So, and particularly Bastar, we have increased the number of polling stations. So, we have taken the polling stations closer to homes and closer to the habitations. Secondly, we have tried to relocate because of the issue of LWE. There used to be shifting of polling stations. So, polling stations being shifted means that they will not be closer to the villages, they will be closer to some other location which is considered safe from law and order point of view. We got them in almost 6 weeks prior to the day of poll. So, in the last week of September, roughly 20th September, we have got our first batch of these personnels. And first of all, we started with acclimatization because they're coming from outside. And then they were deployed to the locations, and of course we have conducted various kinds of training, ROP for area dominance, flag marches were conducted, some confidence building, also they get to know the terrain, the people, everything. So a well staggered training program was conducted. We don't want the candidate to go inside for campaigning and then feel insecure, and because it will really be a huge setback for us if something happens to the candidate. So their security detailing, once they inform us 3 days in advance about their movement, then we've escalated their security, and then they do their campaigning in the villages.
The preparations for elections in LWE affected areas actually begin 6 months in advance. I'm joined by my colleague Anubhuti Vishnoi, who covers the Election Commission. She tells us what it takes to hold elections in Bastar.
So, Nidhi, technically, preparations for holding polls in any state would begin at least 6 months in advance, which means a whole lot of mobilization meetings start on security requirements and other requirements related to polling booths, poll booth assessments. Moving of troops specifically is looked at 6 weeks in advance when you start looking at actual deployment of forces. But a lot of homework is done at least 6 months before that. And more so in case, of course, left-wing areas, rounds of meetings will be held with the Home Ministry to assess the security situation with the state administration. So it's actually a lot of work goes into the scheduling of polls in left-wing areas. In this case, when we are looking at Bastar, again, about 6 weeks before, we had about 700 CAPF companies which were deployed in the state. And you need that kind of wherewithal and security deployment, especially in left-wing areas.
So these areas are usually they're not very voter friendly. We have calls from the Naxals also who say that you should boycott polling. So are there some standard steps or something specific that the Chief Electoral Officer of the state undertakes to increase the voter turnout?
Yes, so there's a particular drill which is followed across states first, and this was done here as well. At least, again, 2 months before the poll, you will identify vulnerable and critical polling stations. What that means is it could be one is vulnerable to political influence, where the voting percentage or margin was too narrow or too huge, where some kind of influence would come in. And the other is law and order issues or security consideration. Those are critical polling stations. So those are identified much in advance, and ground runs, dry runs are done there so that you know what the situation is at hand, and you start sensitizing the voter there of the need to go out and vote. So that is one of the first key steps taken across the country whenever any state is going to the poll. Apart from that, in this particular case, in Chhattisgarh, there are many other considerations which come into place. For instance, the new polling stations and some of the old ones required even polling staff to be airdropped. So you had over 900 polling staffs being airdropped first for polling duty and then to extract them from that polling station.
Bastar is a region of conflict. The center and the state governments have worked over the years to bring a semblance of normalcy. The security forces occupy an area, build roads, and set up a camp. With a new camp, Naxals recede further. While this exercise has been initiated extensively in Sukma, Bijapur, and Dantewada districts, Narayanpur remains fairly uncharted. It is only now that the government has initiated the mapping of this LWE affected district. At present, there are 6 major sites where tribals are sitting in protest in Narayanpur district. They are caught between the government's attempt to take roads to their villages and the pushback of the Naxals. It is not an easy choice between their traditional way of life as they know it and the modern development that the government offers. With that, from me, your host Nidhi Sharma, and producer Surohini Jain and sound engineer Rajas Nayak, it's a wrap on this episode of The Morning Brief, a special ground report from Bastar. Do follow The Morning Brief on the podcast platform of your choice and tune in every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Thank you for listening and have a great day.